You need your application forms filled out and signed. You need payment slip. You need acknowledgement slip. You need appointment slip.
Girl, I see your face everywhere. When I'm going out, you'll be there. 'Cause everything reminds me of you.
Hello, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Joy. So today I'll be discussing the steps on how to renew your Nigerian passport if you live in the United States. So sometime last year I made a video about my trip to Atlanta Nigerian consulate to renew my passport. I didn't really go into details about my experiences and anything that happened. I just made like a brief video about that journey. But since then I've gotten some questions on that video about how to go about it, what you need, the requirements and the documentation, and other questions on that video. So I'm here today to answer those questions for you and also give you some tips and advice on how to go about that at the end of this video. So make sure you watch this video to the end so you don't miss out on any of the tips that I have for you, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Okay, before I went for my Nigerian passport renewal, I've had a lot of stories. Some of them were good, some of them were horrible, so I didn't really know what to expect. The last time I renewed my passport, I was so lucky. There was this group here in Minnesota. They invited the New York consulate people down to Minneapolis, so I found out about that. So I was so lucky I didn't have to travel, and so I had to do it here in Minneapolis. Then it expired, so it was time for me to go and renew, and I had to travel to the Atlanta consulate. But I'm going to share my own experience with you guys and then give you every details that you need before you head out. The first thing you have to know are the locations. Here in US, there are only 3 places that you can renew your Nigerian passports. It's either New York, Atlanta, or Washington, D.C. Those are the only 3 places for passport renewal here in the United States. Number 2 is the application itself. Before we move forward to the application, the most important thing before you even start the application is to have your national identity number, popularly known as NIN. You need that before you even start the application. In my own case, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know. It's been a while for me, so I didn't know they had made some changes like that. So when I went to the Nigerian immigration website to make the application, I found out that they needed the NIN number, and so I had to make inquiries. I did my research, and fortunately I found a place here in Minneapolis to do my NIN. I called them and booked an appointment. So they said it was going to take 3 to 4 weeks for me to get my NIN in my email, but fortunately I got that within 2 weeks. And then after I got that, I now proceeded with my application. So first thing first, you need your NIN before you even start the application. So once you have the NIN ready, you just head over to the Nigerian immigration website for the application. I will have the link to the website in the description of this video. Once you're done with the application and you get to the payment stage, it will take you to another website called Innovate One Services. I will also have the link in the description of this video. It will take you to that website. You will make your payment. So let me break down all the fees for you. For 32-page booklet for 5 years, it costs $142. For 64-page booklet for 5 years, it costs $162. And for 64-page passport booklet for 10 years, it costs $242. This option is only available for 18 years and above. So when you choose the option, you pay. After you make your payment, make sure you print out the payment slip because you're going to need it when you go for your appointment. Another step, schedule your appointment. So now you're done with your application. You printed out your application form, you printed out your payment slip. Now you're going to schedule your appointment for your biometric. And so now you're ready to schedule your appointments, and you come to this appointments.immigration.gov.ng, and this is where you put your application ID, and this is where you put your reference number. And when you do that, you go to the next page that has the dates available, the times available, and you will select and choose whichever date that works for you. I'll also link the website in the description of this video. So my appointment, I'm going to share my own experience and how long it took me to get my own appointment date. So I made my application on February 13th of 2023. So when I went to the website to schedule my appointment, the earliest available date I found was April 11th of 2023. And then you schedule your appointment, and you will print the appointment slip as well. When you schedule your appointment, make sure you also print out the appointment slip. It's very important. So the next step is the required documents, all the documentations, everything you need for your appointment after you have scheduled your appointment. And I'm going to list everything down for you in the description so that you have it. So here are all the required documents that you will need for your appointment. Your signed application confirmation form, the form that you filled out, you print them out, make sure you sign them and date them. The next document you need, your payment slip. Remember I told you to print out the slip after you make the payment. You're going to need it for your appointment. Acknowledgement slip. You're going to need that acknowledgement slip because after you make that payment, you're going to print out the payment slip, and then there's also an acknowledgement slip to print out. Just know there are two different things, payment slip and acknowledgement slip. So you need both of them. Another thing you need is 2 passport photographs, white background. Make sure they are white background and they are current. And then you need your Nigerian expired passport. So make sure you go with your Nigerian expired passport. And then you also need a photocopy of your Nigerian passport data page. It's not like you need the photocopy of all the passport pages. So you only need the place where you have your picture. And there's going to be a $30 admin fee. I don't know why they charge that. I don't know why they collect that fee after you have paid for your passport application. You will still go to the embassy, you will still go to the Nigerian consulate, and they will still charge you $30 admin fee. And most importantly, you need a certified self-addressed prepaid envelope from either USPS, UPS, or FEDEX. But I will advise you, I will recommend that you only go with the USPS post office prepaid envelope because I had a different experience. So online it said you can either use post office, FEDEX, or UPS. So when I went, I took FEDEX envelope with me, prepaid. So as you can see, I addressed it from Atlanta. It was coming to me. And so when I got there, they refused, they rejected it. So they actually had to collect $20 from me for that post office prepaid envelope. Even though it was listed online that you can either use FedEx, UPS, or post office, they still rejected it and they collected extra $20 from me. So make sure you go with only post office, nothing else. So I'm going to give you some tips. When you book your appointment and they give you a date for your appointment at any of the consulates, and you want to travel if you don't live around those areas. So make sure that if you're taking a day off, if you're thinking of getting it done the day of your appointment and traveling back the same day, that it might be possible, it might not be possible. It's a 50-50 chance. Because on that day, some people were not lucky. I was lucky. I got mine done the same day, even though it took like forever. Okay, so make sure that you just take extra day off just in case you didn't get yours done that day, so that you can still get it done the next day and then you travel back. Another tip I have for you is on that day of your appointment, I know they will give you a time. You know what they call it? African time or Nigerian time. Yes, that's how they work everywhere. Doesn't matter whether they're in the US, the UK, or Canada, they still go with that African time. Go very early on the day of your appointment because there are going to be a lot of people there already by the time you get there. So my appointment was at 9 a.m., but I got there a few minutes before 8 a.m. and it was already filled up with people. I got there an hour early thinking that I was early enough. But by the time I got there, the place was already filled up. And then you get a number and you have to wait. There was a tent, like a canopy inside the compound where people stay and wait for their number to be called, and then you go inside. And so mine, I waited for like 2 hours inside the tent, the canopy, before my number was called. And then when I got inside, to my greatest surprise, there was a lot of people already inside that place. I was lucky, I succeeded, I finished mine the same day. Mine took 6 hours plus. I left there some minutes past 3 p.m. Mind you, I was there before 8 a.m. and so I left after 3 p.m. So it took forever. People were frustrated, people were so angry. And another tip that I have is that if you are planning on traveling anytime soon, or you have a trip in the next 6 or 7 or 8 months, this is the right time for you to start this application process because it takes a while. Maybe from getting your NIN if you don't have it yet, from the application itself, and from getting an appointment, and then after appointment, and then waiting for the passport to come. So you can actually start your application process 6 months before your passport expires. So I applied February 13th, 2023. My appointment was April 11th, 2023. And my passport came in the mail July 13th, 2023. You see why I said you need to plan ahead. If you check from the time I did my application, from the time I got my passports, March, April, May, June, July, that's 5 months. And if you add my waiting period for my NIN, so it's like almost 6 months for my own process. So I'm going to repeat all the required documents again. You need your application forms filled out and signed. You need payment slip. You need acknowledgement slip. You need appointment slip. You need 2 passport photographs, white background and current. You need your Nigerian expired passport. You need a photocopy of the data page of your expired passport. You will pay $30 admin fee when you get to the consulate. You can either pay with credit or debit. I wasn't sure if they took cash or not, but just make sure you have like credit or debit card. And most importantly, you need a certified self-addressed prepaid envelope from post office, not UPS, not FEDEX. Don't be like me. Don't go with any other envelope except for the post office. You'll have to pay for them to send it back to you. And I hope that every information that I provided for you today on how to renew your Nigerian passport was of helpful to you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, take care.